Money is so uncomfortable to talk about, even between people that are married. I mean, the number one cause of divorce in America is money problems.
You were told the lie that student loans don't count against you. In my eyes, it was like, well, this is not bad debt, so it's okay.
Hey, you're in college, you're gonna get a credit card. Don't go too crazy with the credit card, but you're gonna need the credit card for emergencies.
After I graduated, I was supposed to be living the dream, so I acquired more debt and more debt. I think it just began to snowball from there.
We borrowed for everything.
Yep.
Want a new couch? Go finance it. Want a new TV? Go finance it. Want a new car? Go finance it.
You know, in the back of my mind, we need to save money, but I'm like, we have enough money. I can go out and buy and spend.
I couldn't fill my car with gas one month because we had less than $100 in the bank.
We were completely house poor.
That's where the stress came. I saw it in my husband.
This card has $10 left on it. This card has $20 left on it. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to pay for all this food.
I had no control over my anger, my emotions, my spending.
We had personal loans, student loans, a mortgage we were trying to keep afloat.
We started to see our marriage drop away.
We nearly lost everything.
We were clueless.
I didn't have any control.
I just didn't see how we could get out of the hole that I'd created.
There had to be a change.
This is it. This is where it starts, right here.
I was so sick and tired of being where we were at.
Every day I would look at my wife and look at our little newborn daughter, and I'd be like, you know, I gotta do this.
I'll never, ever be in this again.
And we're working from the same place with the same goals.
We save, we have targets, we have a plan.
Now we're believing that we can actually do this.
Light at the end of the tunnel just kept getting bigger and brighter.
I can do this for however long it's gonna take.
I feel like I can do more things than I ever could.
I can work because I want to, not because I have to.
Nobody owns me anymore. Nobody.
Our lives were transformed.
You're free.
We changed our family tree.
This is what it's all about. This is what we work for.
I'm not afraid anymore, and I look forward to the future.
How many of you grew up like I did, not rich? Well, don't be so happy about it. My wife Sharon and I, we got out of college and got married. We were broke. Started off eating off a card table, driving a 1902 Pinto. For you young people, that's a car, not a bean. When we started off our lives married and broke. How many of y'all started off married and broke? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. We ain't got money, honey, but we got love. Good thing, too, because we ain't got any money. Oh, that only lasts so long. I started buying and selling real estate in my early 20s, starting from nothing. I got rich, at least by a kid from Antioch, Tennessee standards. By the time I was 26 years old, I had about $4 million worth of real estate, a little over $1 million net worth, and I was making $200,000 a year. It was fun. That's $20,000 a month. Neighborhood I grew up in, we called that rich. That was fun. And I got that car I always wanted. You had a car you always wanted? If I ever get some money, I'm gonna get that car. You know the one I'm talking about, right? For me, it was a Jaguar. I wanted to get a Jaguar because nobody in my old neighborhood could spell Jaguar, much less get one. I mean, this was exotic. So I got me a Jaguar, man, and within 90 days, baby, I am a Jaguar. Right? We're having fun, man. We went to Hawaii, rednecks in Hawaii. Oh, man. We had so much fun. It's unbelievable. You know what we did? We went back. It was fun. You know, sometimes I hear these people say, all those rich people are miserable. Now, I'm not here to tell you money will make you happy. Money will not make you happy. It won't. Money will make you more of what you already are. If you're depressed and you get money, you'll be unbelievably depressed. If you're mean and you get money, Lord, help the people around you. It magnifies what's going on in your life. And the crazy that's in your life, the crazy that's in your family, they get crazier when you get money. And there's crazy in every family. Y'all know that, right? If you don't think there's crazy in your family, it's you. So we were rocking along. Everything was going pretty good. And I was working my tail off. I was taught to tell the truth, work hard, pay your bills the way you were. No different, right? Everything's going like it's supposed to be going, man. Things are happening right. I met God on the way up. Everything's going good, you know? And man, we're married, we're having babies. This is the American dream. This is the way it's supposed to be. But I had done some stupid stuff with money. How many of y'all ever done something stupid with money? How many of you that didn't raise your hand have a problem with lying? I'd borrowed too much money in the bank that we were working with, the main bank. They got sold to another bank. I know that never happens in your area. And some guy in another city looks down and said, there's a kid in his 20s, owes us millions of dollars on real estate. I was doing Flip This House before there was cable TV to tell you how. And he looked down and he said, man, this is scary. Let's limit this relationship, which is banker talk for ruin his life. And even though I wasn't late on my notes, it was commercial paper. They're allowed to do all kinds of stuff. I was stupid. I signed up for this trip, and they called our notes. And we spent the next 2.5 years of our life losing everything we owned. We were sued. We were foreclosed on. We were sued so many times that the little guy with the lawsuit papers at the sheriff's department, those little pink lawsuit papers when he brings them to the front door, we're on a first-name basis with the old boy. Sharon's making him cookies, you know. Hey, Harold, you want a cookie? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. And finally, with a brand new baby and a toddler and our marriage hanging on by a thread, we were bankrupt. Guys, I was so scared I couldn't breathe. I was 28 years old. I got babies. My wife thinks she's married to an idiot, because she is. And we're so broke. They're cutting the lights off and the water off, and I didn't know what to do. There wasn't anybody out there talking about what to do. It was kind of dirty little secrets. You didn't tell anybody, you know? And so I remember standing in the shower with it so hot I could just barely stand there, and I'd just stand there and cry because I was so scared. If you've ever been there, I know how it feels. I've been there. I've done that. And I'll tell you this, it's a thorough teacher. I learned my lessons at the School of Life. I got a PhD in DUMB. Dave, what qualifies you to teach about this stuff? Well, I've got all the letters and licenses and the finance degree, but what qualifies me is I've done it. That's what qualifies me. I've been there. I know when somebody calls me on my radio show and I can hear it in their voice how scared they are. I can return to those moments 30 years ago. I remember how it feels. And what this stuff does to a marriage, it's the #1 cause of divorce in North America today. Money fights, money problems, money stress. We didn't get a divorce. We held on to each other, but sometimes it's just to get a better grip, y'all. I mean, Sharon's from the hills of East Tennessee. Frying pan throwing there's an Olympic event, baby. I'd like to tell you I bounced back, but I didn't. I blamed everybody else. Sat around, it was the IRS's fault. It was the banker's fault. It was the president's fault. It was the Congress's fault. It was everybody's fault but mine. You ever do something stupid and blame everybody else for your stupidity? Turns out McDonald's does serve hot coffee. You got to decide at some point in your life, are you a victim or a victor? At some point, you got to make a call. And I sat around for a little while, and I was a victim and sucked my thumb, and oh, poor little old me. And then at some point, I just realized that wasn't working. I was having breakfast with one of my buddies, and he goes, you got enough lemons, you ought to make some lemonade, son. He said, you need to learn what happened, and you need to never do it again. So I started studying what the Bible has to say about money, and I started talking to old rich people. I didn't want to talk to young rich people. I had been him. He was stupid. I want to talk to people that got money and kept it. And old rich people told me the same thing the Bible did. It was called common sense. But common sense is so rare that it's like having a superpower. It sets you apart completely. And so we started doing this stuff in our life, and it started changing everything. It moved everything in our life. And all of a sudden, I mean, it was a little bit at a time. It was gradual. It didn't happen overnight. But I mean, we look up and all of a sudden, you know, we're out of debt. We clear it because you don't get to bankrupt everything. I mean, the IRS, the KGB, I mean, the IRS follows you, right? And student loans aren't bankruptable. You know that, right? And so we still had all this stuff to clean up. And so we're working, we got out of debt. And there wasn't any place to scream, I'm debt free, but I went out in the backyard and did it anyway, you know. I'm from Tennessee. We just yell at the moon. You know, I mean, come on, man. And, you know, we started working this stuff. We're going, we're never going back. Never going back. I'm not living like this. I'm never going to put myself in a position. If American Express calls my house, it's a wrong number. I am never going back. When you have those moments in your life, it changes everything, y'all. And changed the trajectory of our lives. I met God on the way up, but I got to know him on the way down. It changed the trajectory of everything. My faith, my marriage, my business acumen, my leadership skills, everything started shifting and forming around this. And now here we stand all these years later. And it's amazing. Not only did we straighten up Dave and Sharon Ramsey, but we told other people what we did, and some of them started doing it. Millions of them started doing it over the next few decades. And now it's like a thing, you know? It's like my name is like a verb. I'm Dave Ramseying that, you know what I mean? It's what are you doing? I mean, it's like a cuss word in some houses, right? You know? But all that comes from just saying, I'm not living like this anymore. And when you hit that point, it changes things. It changes everything. And then we started saying, okay, these principles that we're learning, what do you do first? Do you save money and invest? That's important. Do you get insurance? Do you have your emergency fund first, or do you get out of debt? What about paying off your house? You know, what about building wealth? What about the power of compound interest and getting that working for you to be a millionaire? Which of these things do you do first? And it was confusing, and people said, I don't know what to do first. And I said, well, I don't either. And then I just ran into this thing, and it said, you can do anything if you do it a bite at a time. That's how you eat an elephant, a bite at a time. And I ran 2 full marathons one day, about 12 or 14 years ago. 2 in one day, my first and my last. In my mind, when I finally went across the finish line, I was sprinting. The video shows otherwise. Looked more like this. Guy wearing a tutu passed me, okay? I'm just saying it wasn't pretty. But you know what? I finished. I'm not telling you the time, it was ugly. But I finished. And you know the only reason I finished? I ain't quit. You know the only reason I finished was I took another step. And then I took another step. And then I took another step. And it hurt. And it wasn't fun. And I was whining, y'all. I thought whining was a little known form of prayer, you know? But I took another step and I didn't quit. And so we started figuring out that good financial planning and applying these principles in order works, and we call them the baby steps. Baby step 1 is you save $1,000. Baby step 2, as soon as you've done that, is you work the debt snowball. And then baby step 3, once you've done that, you go back to that $1,000 and raise it up to a fully funded grandma's rainy day fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Once that's done, then we do 4, 5, and 6 simultaneously. We start working on retirement, kids' college, and any extra money we throw at paying off the house early. And then that brings us to baby step 7, where we just live and give like no one else, where we build wealth and we're outrageously generous. And that's our outline of what we're going to go through together. This is the process we're going to go through together to take these principles of living debt-free, of living on a budget, these principles, and how do we apply them in what order? That's the order. Baby step 1, $1,000 in your starter emergency fund, your beginner emergency fund. I used to call it a baby emergency fund, and this airhead said, I don't want a baby. That wasn't what I was talking about. It's a starter emergency fund. Okay, it's just a little bit of distance between you and a flat tire or a bad alternator. You follow me? And that way it's not on the credit card. We're just getting a little bit of distance, plus it's something you can do pretty easy. You see, this is your easiest baby step, because it's only $1,000. Some of you already got $1,000. Just name it baby step 1 in your mind right now. Check, you're done with this one, right? But some of you don't have squat. And you got to have a garage sale this weekend, and you got to put everything on Craigslist this weekend, and you don't need to see the inside of a restaurant again unless you're working there, right? You got to start piling up some money and get you $1,000. I meet people make $80,000 a year doing baby step 1. They're crying. It's the first time I ever had $1,000. It's because it's all just blowing right through. You know what I'm talking about? It comes in and goes back out with other people's names on it. But now we got a plan where we are going to win with this income that we work so hard to earn. It's the hardest baby step. It's the easiest baby step. It's easy because it's only $1,000. It's the hardest because this is the point in the process. You're going to decide whether or not you're a freaking genius or not. Are you going to keep doing stuff the way you've been doing and expecting a different result? That's the definition of insanity. Are you going to invent your own plan? I'm doing financial peace-ish. Ish is a wish. Decide. It's like somebody hires a personal trainer. He comes in, he's got an 8-pack, you got a keg, and you're arguing with him. Whatever he says eat that if you want that. Whatever workout he says do that workout if you want that. If you don't want that, if you want that ish, then do it ish. But ish is a wish. So decide what you're gonna do. Are you gonna reinvent something that millions of people have proven to work? Or are you just gonna shut up and do it? That's kind of blunt. I think you hurt my feelings. Good. It's my spiritual gift. Because I love you. I love you. I know who you are. I'm proud of you. You're incredible people. But you gotta do some things different if you want some different things. Agreed? Say yes. So you gotta decide. But it's funny, man. People they're sitting in the middle of their stupidity. I mean, we're like a toddler in a poopy diaper. Yeah, I know it smells bad, but it's warm and it's mine. I get hate mail because people don't want to cut up their stupid credit cards. Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, you're really short on things to write hateful things about, aren't you? Really? It's unbelievable, y'all. It's a really simple idea. Try this stuff. If it doesn't work, you can go back to your way. We know what the results of that are. You're sitting right now as the sum total of the things that have happened to you and the things that you have done with your money. That's how you got where you are right now. And you can't control the things that happen to you, but you can control the things you've done. And most of where we are is because of what we did, good or bad. If you're winning, it's because you were doing some winning stuff, right? Winning is no accident. So that's how the baby steps work. You got to make a decision. Am I going? I got a friend of mine that's worth about $2 million. I was on his podcast the other day, and he said, you know, I actually did your stuff the other day. He goes, I did it about 4 months ago. And I said, really? We've known each other for 10 years. And he goes, yeah, but I'm a millionaire, so I thought I was doing okay. But he said, I got to looking at it, and he said, I realized you had this stuff figured out. And I said, wow, that's insightful, you know. We were kind of kidding back and forth. Y'all see what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of a joke. But he said, you know what changed everything? When I decided to submit myself to someone else's ideas, he said, that's when it changed everything. Am I willing to submit and try something that I've never tried to get something I've never gotten? That's a hard thing for people to do. Change is hard. Even if we don't like where we are, we seem to be stuck in it. Change is hard. So you got to get up out of that. Say, no more. That's the hard part of this baby step, because this is the point you're going to decide whether you're going to do this or whether this is a nice theory from this crazy man on the radio from Tennessee. Is it just a nice theory, or am I really going to change my family tree? Am I really going to do what it takes? See, I figured this out. If you will live like no one else, later you can live and give like no one else. The Bible says there's no discipline that's pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. No one wins without paying a price to win. No one wins without paying a price to win. There are no accidental, random lightning strike winners. People win as an intentional series of acts. They plant things in the ground in their life, and those things grow, and it changes everything. That's why people win. And that's why this has been so successful, because we convince people that you're in control of your destiny. You're in control of your destiny. You're in control of your destiny. Not 100% of it, I understand that. God plays a part, his blessings play a part. Sometimes other mean people do stuff to you. I know it happens to me too, I get that, okay? But most of all, I'm in control of my destiny. The only variables I can control are me, and I'm gonna control that variable. We're gonna be under control for the first time ever. We had to do it because we were so scared and broke we couldn't breathe. Some of you don't have to do it, and that's almost dangerous because you might just kind of kick back and not do it. Submit yourself to something different. Try something different. That's why this is the hardest baby step. Here's how the 9 lessons are structured in Financial Peace University. The first 4 lessons are where we cover the baby steps. Now, once you've got those things done and you understand them, you don't have to complete the baby steps. Then you go up here, and now it's time to really do what the wealthy people do, okay? There's 2 things you do if you're gonna win football. There's 2 things you're gonna do if you're gonna win at wealth. You have good offense, you know how to build wealth, and you have good defense. You don't make stupid mistakes that cause you to lose it all. You have to learn the defense and you have to learn the offense. So you can do those first 4 lessons and quit, but you're gonna mess up because you don't know how to play offense yet and really build the big wealth, and you don't know how to play defense and keep from losing it. And you know how to put the right coverages in place and do the right kinds of things. You understand enough about the financial world to know what to do to manage the wealth that's coming your way and how to maximize it. And so the first thing we do is we get the jet off the ground. And by the way, if you're ever studying a jet airplane, they burn most of their fuel at takeoff. When you get up in the thin air, it doesn't take a lot of fuel to keep it aloft. And it takes even less fuel to land it, because landing is basically a controlled crash. Isn't that comforting? And so that's what you're dealing with. So what we're doing here is we're getting this thing off the ground with this gazelle intensity. Y'all feel it? And we're gonna do baby step 1, we're not doing anything else until we do that. We're gonna do baby step 2, we're not doing anything else until we do that. Then we're gonna do baby step 3, we're not doing anything else until we do that. And then we're gonna do 4, 5, 6 at the same time, which is gonna lead us into 7. And we're gonna walk you through that. But the thing is, you don't quit there, you keep going and you get the other lessons, because that's your offense and that's your defense. And you gotta learn to play both. You gotta learn to build the wealth and protect the wealth. And it's really not rocket science. There's no real insight. There's no hocus pocus stuff. It's stuff you should have been taught in high school, but we weren't. And we're gonna go through it in a way, you put the cookies on a shelf where everybody can reach them, and you're gonna do this stuff. But you don't get to bail just when you get up, because you'll just go right back down, okay? You gotta get up and you gotta have the fuel to maintain, the offense and the defense. Everybody understand that? Say yes. Yes. Tens of millions of families now have followed these baby steps. We know that from book sales and Financial Peace University sales and radio listenership and all of that. That's not an exaggeration. Tens of millions of families have done these steps, and they absolutely work.